Hello, RP people, and welcome back to another episode of Role Playing as Spartan People, the podcast where we pretend to know what we're talking about when it comes to all things tabletop. My name is Santa, and thanks for tuning in again. On tonight's episode, we're doing our 1 year recap. We're talking about all the shit that's happened, uh, all the things we want to do, and pretty much just we're just here to have a good time. So happy New Year's and yada yada. Hello, Scott. Hey, Finder.
Hello.
Hey.
So, I figured we'd start off by just talking about a little bit of what we've been doing since pretty much we started the podcast. And I know some of us have created some games. Some of us are about to launch a game, cough cough, as well as just other kind of shit that's kind of gone on. So, Finder, why don't you start since I know you have some news?
Just been working on a couple of settings and the podcast. And other than that, I'm trying to play and spend time with family. So yeah, got a couple things in the works in terms of a setting that I worked on for a while and hoping to launch that later this month. And then another one that I'm working on with Scott.
Hopefully we get word back at some point.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, you guys got a little bit of radio silence on that one, but it is the holidays, so I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah, us too. Or they're just like these dipshits.
These assholes.
This is the worst idea ever.
That's a neat idea. And what about you, Scott? What's new with you since last year?
Since last year, Raven launched, and then I started working on a science fiction fantasy setting because there's not one that exists in Savage Worlds. It's a real science fiction fantasy. We play tested that. There's another group play testing it. I think we had a good time with it. A little bit of a few oddities, but it is what it is. When you're making a new setting and you're play testing at the same time, and the setting isn't to a good solution, it becomes a little wonky. But I don't know. It was a good time. It was very interesting. The settings was definitely different than in most science fiction settings. And then we started running Dragonlance in Pathfinder for Savage Worlds, and we're recording that just to prove how superior Savage Worlds is for the best campaign setting ever designed by humans, which is Dragonlance. And then you can fight Rich and I, anyone listening. Dragonlance is the Star Wars of Dungeons and Dragons settings. So I
would agree with that.
Yeah, Dark Sun is dumb as shit. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Dark Sun's actually kind of neat. But Planescape is the dog shit setting that I fucking can't stand. It's the stupidest shit ever. Oh my god. I'm gonna play a first level character where in a land full of Archon angels. That's brilliant. And then we're doing the West Marches to Pathfinder for Savage Worlds West Marches campaign, which is chaos incarnate. If you've never done one as a GM, it's interesting experiment. If you've never done it as a player, be proactive because the GMs aren't there to do shit for you. It's up to you to look at the rumors and job listings. That's what I've been doing. I've been making a map and trying to populate it with crazy adventure ideas.
The thing that makes me laugh about that, though, is somebody posts on a rumor, and rather than people dogpiling on something that has interest shown in it,
right?
It's like, hey, let's all try to get 3 or 4 different things going, and like nothing happens.
That is the weirdest shit ever. But it was kind of if you read the document stuff, it's like it really is up to the players, and if they don't schedule shit, not everyone will get to play, and not everyone's gonna play, and it just kind of is what it is. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. I mean, we got one adventure coming up. It looks like so.
Oh, is that the Saturday morning?
No,
it's a weekday evening, and a team has banded together and decided to go investigate some mysterious banners in the east.
Ooh. Well, the first one, that'll be pretty fun, hopefully.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Not as fun as the tower, but I mean
that's the thing is like it's what strikes people's interest because I'm like fucking mysterious banners sounds more interesting than a fucking mysteriously appearing tower. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, well, okay. Let's go check out some armies.
Right. I guess I didn't realize we were playing Axis and Allies. Here we are. So that's
Oh.
it. And what have you been doing?
Well, since the creation of this podcast, I've rekindled my hate for social media. I absolutely despise social media, and I've been forced to use it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not
Oh
good at it,
man,
but
love
I
it.
try.
Love
Um, I've essentially bettered my own editing. I have branched out into a couple other tiny little things, not really worth mentioning. I still haven't created a setting or a system.
it. Yeah.
um, and what else? Oh yeah, I started creating that. I did the one-on-one with Santa, which honestly a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to continue on through the year as it's a nice little additional episodes. I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know. Um,
Yeah, those have been very cool to listen to, just to see the industry, like serious heavy hitters in the industry discuss. Okay, I'm sorry you didn't get anyone from Watsy or Paizo, so I guess it's not important. But to hear the actual people who make really cool games, it's
I,
really neat to hear.
it is honestly super cool. Like I've
Yeah,
talked to people who I'm just like I in a million years I should never have been able to talk to you. But yeah, no, and I
yeah,
got some cool ones actually up the pipeline that'll be coming out. One
there you go.
really big name, which I've kind of
Nice.
hinted on the Discord.
Oh man, is it Gary Gygax?
Is
Yeah, we're gonna have a seance on the
yeah,
podcast.
we're having a
Right?
séance.
Oh, that gives me such a good idea. When we get
Well,
ready to get canceled and banned, we'll do a Gary Gygax episode.
oh god. Yeah, yeah. His son makes our I think does 5e content.
Well,
Yeah.
what? Why would he do that?
The
That's
guy
weird.
actually came out with his own system after D&D.
He did, and it was awful. It's
Yeah, because I was like,
fucking
oh,
boring.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of looked up the Gygax family. I was like, maybe, and it was like, oh, no, he's releasing 5e content. I'm not interested.
But I don't know why I don't know why he would attach himself to 5e. It's really weird. I thought Dungeons and Dragons was dying suddenly.
I don't
My
know.
my ass. They're gonna make Wizards is gonna make more fucking money in the first year of one D&D than they have probably made in decades of 5th edition.
I know we have to wait a year for this popcorn.
I know. I just and I know we're gonna. Well, we may or may not talk about some of this stuff, but you are a fool if you believe that people are leaving Dungeons and Dragons. We've
Yeah,
already done this dance once before, except
yeah.
except now the tide has turned into the favor of corporations, despite what everyone believes, and they got you lock, step, and barrel. Like I said, yeah, fucking Diablo makes a ridiculous amount of money. Fortnite makes stupid money. Once Rich mentioned Fortnite, and I was like, what do they charge for it? And then I saw the emotes, and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even think about that. Your dumb fucking little 3D doll will be able to do the fucking TikTok shuffle dance when you defeat an enemy. Oh my god, they're gonna make a fucking fortune. Holy shit.
But it breaks immersion.
Because immersion's not real and everyone knows it. Yeah. Yeah, immersion my ass. We have more immersion on the virtual tabletop than you do at a regular tabletop. I will put that down right now.
Oh, I
Because
agree. I
right,
agree.
the sound, the vision, because vision is not important. The vision limits, the range calculations, everything is so done on the fly for you that level of immersion, like sometimes I'm watching you guys adventure and it's like, ooh, I'm starting to feel a little claustrophobic even just staring at these little points of this map. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, they don't know what's around the corner. Fuck. And then last night they decided to run through the fucking caverns and they discovered that Monk's active tiles in Foundry let you set up traps that'll be sprung as soon as the first idiot crosses the line. And then there was some conversation about how that was not fair. It was like,
Are we gonna roll?
right, we tried checking for traps because that's the beginning of the bell curve of how you don't get hit with a bunch of fucking arrows. But we did find out, and I had to reread it. I was honest because I was like trying to really dealt with traps in really I've never dealt with traps in Savage Worlds, not like that. And the Pathfinder is very clear on it. It was like you either find it or you don't.
Yeah, and nobody said they were even looking for him.
No,
So
no, they were just moving tokens like it was a horse race.
Yeah.
And then I could hear, I was busy doing something. And I heard the ching, and I was like, there's the tile trap. But I do need to go back and make sure it didn't really fuck up the character streets because I have a sneaking suspicion that it did. And that's going to hurt. And because I did it, I will have to remake a bunch of characters. Well, I'll just copy shit over to a new version, but it's going to make my heart hurt. Anyway, I think we derailed the conversation right off the get. That's
yeah, that's pretty much on brand, dude.
It's a new record, though.
Yeah.
That's cool. But your interviews are really good, man. They're fun.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I actually just had someone say that too, and I was like, "Oh, you're really good." I was like, "Thank you. I read books."
Well, that person's a lone liar because I know who it is. And he has no opportunity for rebuttal except in Discord. No, he's right. They're really solid.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie. Some of them I've been kind of like nervous on because it's like I know who I'm talking to. I'm like,
right.
What's this? The CEO of Free League? Yeah, sure. Why not? That's not completely anxiety ridden.
No, man. Right.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah,
they're just normal people, right? That's the cool part about it.
Well, that's kind of one thing I'm kind of discovering, and it's like we're all just nerds at heart who like talking about tabletop, and it makes when you have that common denominator, it makes it a lot easier. But I don't know, it's still kind of a little bit edgy. So
it's good though. It's humble.
Yeah. While we're on the kind of topic of episodes, do you guys by any chance have a favorite episode that we've done?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jesus, we've done a lot too.
54 of them, I think.
Feels like so many. I'm trying to think of the topics that were really spicy. Like I liked hearing the Finder clan just rip a new at D&D 5e a new asshole. that was personally satisfactory. I don't know. I did like the one where we did the little. I know it was a little too long, and I blame myself for that little dungeon adventure to prove the Mother May I is nonsense and how to stop doing it.
Oh yeah, that one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Finder? You got a favorite? I know you don't really listen to them, but
well, it's because I participate and I can't stand the sound of my voice, so it's like, why listen to it a second time? But I don't have any that come to mind other than I just like the ones where we have a lot of fun, and there have been some where it's just been a ton of fun talking with one another, talking with maybe a guest who's on. There have been some guests who are just a lot of fun to talk to, so. I couldn't tell you what episodes because I don't have a list in front of me, but
Yeah, no.
And I'm 50, so it's like
I know.
I remember after lunch yesterday. I was going through the Kickstarter list because we talked about Kickstarter. Yeah. So I went through Kickstarter. I'm like, all these games. I'm like, oh, that was 2022. Nope, that was 2021. It's like everything just runs together for me now. So it's like,
oh, that's crazy.
I have no idea what time it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that I have a specific episode that I'd say, oh, that's my favorite or that was the greatest because I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. No, I was just kind of looking at it myself. I'm like, what is my favorite one?
I know it's odd. I know the popular ones are kind of surprising. The Matt Mercer one was pretty fun too, just to have a different take from everyone else's whiny bitch take about fucking the Matt Mercer effect.
You know what? That one was actually a lot of fun. I was thoroughly entertained with that.
Yeah. Just like reprioritize what you believe. That's all.
Yeah, I think because I think my favorite episode hasn't been released yet. You know which one? You got to meet one of your heroes.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah. But out of released ones, oh god. I think out of all the released ones, the one that always pops into my mind is when we did the Dust Bunnies one I had so much fun recording that episode. I think we
And
all
that
did.
was a fun one. I mean, Carl was a stand-up guy to talk with.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
a lot of
Carl
fun.
and Chris, right? Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
Yeah, it was Carl Kiesler and Chris
Hmm.
Warner. Dusting off
Hmm.
with Carl Kiesler and Dust Warner.
Hmm.
Which that one was a lot of fun. And then even getting back into chatting with him on the one-on-one was also a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I would also highlight the one with Charlie and the Shiver RPG, where I got to talk about horrible movies, and that's like one of my guilty pleasures. So it was awesome.
See, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've had it kind of coincides with the next question, but like we've had a lot of like fun moments that just I absolutely love doing. Even role playing when we're doing like the what was it, the ETU one. That one was just such a blast to play through, and I couldn't get myself out of that Canadian accent after recording.
Nice. Do you know that is amongst my most viewed and watched and liked actual plays we've done is the ETU stuff.
Really?
Yep. I was just looking at the stuff today.
What
So
on
on the
your
YouTube stuff, yeah.
yeah?
Yep. Yep.
What's
It's
it
just
for our listeners? What's your YouTube again?
the Savage Cheerleader. Did change it.
Yeah, the cheerleader saved the world.
I took it back. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Bounding.
disavow and a whole bunch of and bounded accuracy because I was like, ooh, originally I'm gonna commit myself to, doing a 5e channel like every other idiot. And then I was just like, oh, my heart's not really in this and I don't really give a shit. So here we go.
Yeah, that was honestly so much fun. Oh yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the university 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, that was actually a ton of fun, and actually, kind of going on to the thing for views, like we have a YouTube channel, but it's only pretty much just like the same recordings. On the Mercer effect, it's probably the algorithm, but like we end up having like almost 200 watches on that video, which is just a record.
Jesus, wow.
Yeah, that one kind of popped off. I was like, wow, maybe we should talk about more topical things more often.
I'm just saying that's how you get shit done.
Yeah.
And what an odd thing to think about doing.
What you mean doing video?
Just
Oh, I was going to do a little at the end, like what we plan to do within the future, but
talk about it now, talk about it later. Don't.
I'm down to talk about it now.
Oh,
And to the chagrin of our audience, who will get to see our ugly mugs.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, spitballs.
Okay, fine. Our ugly mugs and Finder. We are thinking of doing video as well. Now, for anyone who's listening to the podcast, this ain't going to change. It's going to stay the same. But now, if you want to see us in person on a channel, our faces will be there. So you'll be able to see if I look like Santa Claus. You'll be able to see Scott's chest because he's too tall for the camera.
True statement.
And you'll be able to see the supermodel that is Finder.
Oh, shit.
I've got it cleared with the Ford modeling company.
Yeah.
There you go.
You wouldn't
insured.
Yeah, and you would not believe how much we had to pay for his appearance in it. Like, totally bankrupting us. Like me and Scott, literally about 10 grand each just to get him for one video.
I was gonna say $4, but you went more serious.
Well, $4. Well, no, I'm not going there. Nope, not touching it.
Yeah. It would have been nice if you would have paid in something other than $1 bills.
Oh, when they come, apparently it's all I see them is folded.
Oh yeah. When you dance for a living, you gotta,
just
take the cash you got.
We did have that joke come up once in the office, and one of our guys was so innocent that the two of the female chiefs were just berating the fuck out of him because he didn't know what a dollar bill folded lengthwise was. I was like, I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of this moment.
So
like I've never seen him attack. Sorry.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Um, so out of curiosity, since the year is now ending, besides your own products, what's been your favorite RPG that has come out this year?
Oh my god.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Settings also count.
Oh shit. This year? I don't even
Yeah.
know what came out this year. Uh,
Or what's your favorite RPG this year to date? Not something that was on your radar last year, just to make it a little bit easier.
I know this is tough. I'm looking at the shelf, trying to look behind me at all the Savage World shit that I now have. Like,
Yeah, I'm looking for my list too.
that's
You
what's
think I would have
weird.
planned it too myself?
Well, it's not even that. It's just like there's a lot of stuff we've talked about. A lot of different games get thrown around. Between here and there, I don't remember when some of the things we did took place. Honestly, like I do like Savage Pathfinder. I like how it works. I like the feel of it. It's kind of this real. It gives you it's really good because it gives you the I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons feeling.
Yeah.
But you still have the Savage Worlds to it, and they really did. So far, they really did a really good mashup of the two things. I'm very impressed with that. I'm having a good time running it so far. It still feels like Savage Worlds,
But it kind of has its own nice spin.
yeah, because you got class edges, and those like really open things up for you. Like when Rich is playing a Wizard of High Sorcery, and it's that one class edge, it gives you all this cool shit. You don't really have to take edges to deal with, and it's kind of a nice concept, and but I don't. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Like I don't look at Rich's character and be like, oh, he's got the wizard class edge. I'm like, oh, he casts spells and he's casting Savage World spells. It's like I don't know, but it still feels good. But I know that he's built this character around the concept, so I don't know if that's a success for them or not. But yeah, I don't know. And I still had a really good time. I don't know if that was in the last 12 months, but I still had a good time when we did Dungeon World. I still think Dungeon World is the best version of Dungeons and Dragons made. So
it is nice and simple.
It really is.
And we did have a lot of fun, way more than the 5e game that we played.
Oh, what a shocker.
Yeah. So I would agree with you that I think I don't know if I would say it's the best Dungeons and Dragons.
What's the best version of Dungeons and Dragons then?
The game that I'm going to name.
Oh, shit. What is that?
It's new to me, and that's why it's new to me. It's not new.
I found a box text, and the covers are red, and it has a dragon and a lady on it.
No,
have you guys heard of this?
The artwork is like so retro.
Yeah, it's so retro.
It's called the Moldvay. I don't understand. This is amazing.
It's DCC/MCC.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was
you're right. You're right, bro. You're right.
I know. I'm not right all the time, but there's occasions where I'm right, and I think that is the best version of Dungeons and Dragons you can ever possibly play.
God damn you.
Yeah.
Can we agree that Dungeon World is the best version of basic Dungeons and Dragons?
How about
and DCC is the best version of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay, how's this? DCC is the best classic style version of Dungeons and Dragons, while Dungeon World is the best modern version of it.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to step away for like 30 seconds. Sorry.
It's okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah, no. I'm fine. How about you? What is your favorite RPG that you have discovered this year? And it can be settings.
Okay, so discovered this year, as in have actually played?
Or even just read.
You're assuming I read.
You do read. You're smart. We've had this conversation. You're actually
I read, but I don't have time to read a whole lot of books for like RPGs anymore. So it's like, for me, I'm gonna say running Coriolis.
Oh, yeah, that is something new for you this year. Did you discover it this year, or is that
I played Year Zero before, like played Forbidden Lands, but I had never played Coriolis. And so getting it together with my kids, and again, that may have been the end of last year, beginning of this year. No, it was the beginning of this year. It has to have been. because I wrapped up Desert of Desolation. So yeah, it's beginning of this year is when I started playing Coriolis and GMing that, and just having a ton of fun with it. I mean, it is um, very. I think it has all the elements that Scott likes in the dungeon roll type stuff because it's built on the concept of fail forward. When you roll dice, it's because it matters, and you can't just say, "Oh, well, you didn't see this thing." It's like if you're rolling to notice something and you fail your notice roll, you don't just not notice something, but you may notice something that you or that throws you off the scent, or it does something else. And there should always be a consequence, and it's just been a ton of fun to run. So I've really enjoyed Coriolis.
One thing I find kind of interesting, especially since like I'm not that much of a fantasy person. Of course, I kind of combined it with also MCC, but I like how my favorite of the year is actually based on a fantasy setting. I don't know how that happened. I
Well,
honestly don't.
well, it's the system is awesome, but I think the mutant crawl classics outweighs the DCC, right?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, is that
Yeah.
fair enough to say?
No, that's very fair. I bought the MCC app like 10 minutes after learning about it, and
No. Yeah.
I still every once in a while I read it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. I want to play it so badly. It just looks so much fun, and it reminds me a lot of that video game. It's very very old school, but Caves of Cud, which
Oh.
yeah, you'd probably like that game, Scott.
I don't even know if I've seen it or not, but yeah.
Um,
And then Coriolis, the Mutant Year Zero engine, like, so I like what they're doing. Well, I hate doing this, but there's something I've been looking at Sepcore about all of the stuff they're doing because I like what they do and I like how it worked, but of course I think they're missing a good
Is it just
opportunity.
me, or is it hard to hear Scott?
Is it hard to hear me? How about now?
you
That's
quieted it
better.
down for a moment.
Okay, it's really weird. Anyway, it's probably a stupid microphone. But yeah, the Coriolis stuff, yeah, it's pretty interesting how their engine works. That MYZ is neat. But yeah, I can't help but think they're missing golden opportunities with a few things, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and golden opportunity myself
That
because that's what I
makes
do.
sense.
I'm just saying.
And I gotta say, for one that I was surprised how much I actually like it, and I'm playing the first game of it on tomorrow, actually. Um, which, if for anyone actually curious, we are recording this before January 1st. We didn't somehow magically create an episode on January 1st to release on January 1st. So, just a heads up. But, and that is the Shiver system. Honestly, I really like it. I've been designing my own little adventure, and it's a lot simpler than you'd actually looking at it believe. So I'm actually surprised how much I like that one. But onto the onto the next list. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, what is the worst game you've had the pleasure of putting your eyes on this year? And I think we all three might have the same answer on this. And before we wouldn't have done it because we felt bad, but now that that project seems to be canceled, uh, I'm comfortable in saying it. I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys though.
Why don't you go ahead? I was going to say Dungeons and Dragons Fifth Edition, but I won't.
You saw that way before this year though.
100%.
Well, I am going to say Badlanders. Made by Mark Reinhagen, kickstarted in August after delay. Got the book to review it. Didn't review it because it wasn't out yet, and I hated every moment of reading that book, including things from how
Yeah.
it looks, the images within it, uh, the layout. I disliked every single moment of looking at that book, which is a shame because it did have some good ideas, but it kind of looked like they just threw everything in, including the stove and the microwave, and then decided to set it on fire, and then took it out, dusted off the ashes, and said, "This is great." Like I don't know how to say anything else either from that. I absolutely, to my deepest part of my heart, hated that more than anything. And I hate turtles.
Damn.
So that's and cannibals. That's
I
amazing.
thought it was a great book.
You dis you know no, you can't even say that. You despise every moment of that.
It was surprisingly I'm like the layout and the design was something I would expect off of some chuckle fuck on Drive Through RPG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is shocking.
It was so bad that I literally just sometimes had to put it down and take a break and read something good because the layout was so horrible. It was text upon text. The whole story was in like 28 pages at the beginning, all using different, like, fonts, all of it on different backgrounds.
Yeah, it was weird. And then like the game system cash in was a weird choice because I'm like, it could have been really interesting. And like we said, before we talked about what we were going to talk when we did the interview, I mean, we guessed easily that it was simply going to be each dot. It's Vampire the Masquerade, but each dot is a +1 to the roll, which is exactly what the game system turned out to, which is really unfortunate because I think there are better ways of handling it, but they tied it to 5e. And then I don't know what happened to the project. It just all but vanished from memory. So
yeah, and then there was even like that thing with like the shield score, the banner score, and some other kind of scores. And I was just like, I really don't really know what's going on.
It's too many things. I don't know, Rich. You also perused it probably briefly.
Briefly. And I cannot disagree with anything you guys have said. I mean, everything you said is I'm in complete alignment with the layout. I struggled with that probably the most. Of course, I struggle with the layout for Cyberpunk Red too. So.
I would honestly say that Cyberpunk Red's layout was better. And I hated Cyberpunk Red's layout, but at least the game was structured well enough. It was just the rules were kind of haphazard and some things missing that you thought you wouldn't. Well, with that game, it's like I couldn't even bear to read the rules or the lore from how bad it was.
See, and for me, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't read all of the book. I didn't read much of it at all. But I don't know if, and part of it is for the exact reason that you just stated. But I mean, what I don't know is, did they hide rules inside sidebars? Because if they did, then okay, I can probably agree with you. But that's my biggest complaint about Cyberpunk Red is when there are rules that people need and are going to get used because everybody wants to do multi actions or everybody wants to do like automatic fire, that sort of stuff. And you have that buried in a sidebar, and sidebars are typically less important and they're more optional sorts of things. And this wasn't even just like a regular sidebar, it was like I glanced past that sidebar so many times because it was just not, it didn't stand out. It was the hardest thing to find. And that annoys me when I can't find a rule that I should be able to find very easily, especially using common search phrase. I mean, I was in a PDF using common search phrases that people would use for that type of a rule, and I still couldn't find it because they didn't even refer to it like that.
Yeah,
it was wacky.
I remember because like I was in the same game with you on that one. I
Yep.
remember I ended up Googling the answers and I was able to find it faster through people saying it's not actually in the book, so we just did this.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah. Well, like grenades. Okay, well, we want to buy some grenades. Where are the grenades?
The gear section.
Where in the gear section?
Under weapons.
It's for some reason it's just based off of, it's just placed in ammo, And
That makes sense, probably because of grenade launchers. But yeah, it's kind of dumb because a grenade should be their own weapon.
yeah,
And
because
you
he
should,
even talks
the
about
grenade
throwing
launcher, you just say,
grenades.
hey, yeah, ammo, see grenades.
Yeah, but even
Yeah.
then, the damage on it, like some of them, it's like, okay, what's the damage on it? Okay, it's as standard as a normal grenade launcher damage. So then you have to go back to the grenade launcher, find out the damage. But other ones, it actually says it there. While some of it says see descriptions, and then the descriptions are literally like 3 pages after that to find out what that grenade did. It was honestly the biggest pain in the ass. And how do you not have rules in a cyberpunk game for going akimbo pistols?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
was so is well, I will say, if we're talking about games that came out, well, you know what? I really didn't give you an answer, did I? So I will go ahead and steal it. Cyberpunk Red is definitely the worst fucking RPG produced.
Yeah, that came out.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too complicated. The just, it doesn't make any sense. I know people loved it to death, but it's just not a fun game. You can have more interesting cyberpunk missions and adventures with just Suede by itself. You don't
Yeah.
even need anything else.
Like when we got
Yeah.
playing the game, it was a lot of fun, but it's just the layout of that book. And like people, if you say, well, layout's not that important, it's like try looking through a
No.
book while you're playing a game to try and find a very simple rule. If you can't do that very quickly, chances are it's not going to be a good layout. And their layout was bad.
Yeah.
The game itself,
Peop
fun, but layout.
Oh, see, I hate the game itself. I just don't think it plays well.
Yeah.
Do we lose Finder or someone?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just heard a weird click. Yeah, I just don't think it plays well. I don't like how the combat works. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
It's also a game that really kind of promotes the tabletop instead of being more narrative, I find.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
Yeah.
you kind of I find you feed more off of narrative than
I do.
yeah.
Which is, I don't know, because it's weird, because when I tried to play in Cyberpunk is a game that requires tactics. And we kind of had this conversation yesterday of like, well, everyone just ignores tactics because why fucking bother with cover when bullets are real, And it's just like, well, then this is just stupid. We're just going to stand here and shoot each other. Fucking find cover, use things. Well, I have armor. Okay. Are you wearing a helmet? Because your character description didn't say you're wearing a helmet. So I just aim for the head and I kill the person. Cool. And that's it. We're done. End of adventure. I don't know. I just felt it lacking so severely, and just I don't find it fast. I don't find it represents like I have jacked up adrenaline kind of shit. I didn't feel like I was cyber wired at all.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I didn't feel like cyber, like it really added anything to the game, which I think that's actually a very fair argument
I
because
just don't know.
yeah, the cyberware didn't really feel that great.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, I
never
agree with
used
that.
any of it.
Right. See, that's the thing is like, and yeah, when you're on a cyberpunk game, and I don't know. I mean, I wrote a cyberpunk game, so maybe I am full of shit. But it's like you got to try to make it matter, and it's like, I don't know.
Well, and I think people get into cyberpunk because they want to feel cool like those cyberpunks. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I want to have that augmentation so I can do super cool stuff that people can't do.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, it literally could be me being crazy, but
All right. Well,
Probably not.
yeah.
just me being pissy.
So, on a more positive note,
Oh no!
how many Kickstarters have you guys backed this year?
I have
Just
no
on
idea.
tabletop alone. I don't know
I
if you want to consider cards in it.
I literally, if it's cards, I'm in trouble.
You know what? Just for the fun of it, then yes, but you have to count the cards separately.
I honestly don't know.
I got to figure out which Kickstarters were 2022.
That's the problem because they don't ever. Right.
Okay, I'm going to start here because I know this one was, and the one next to it is not. So let's see. Just tabletop stuff. You said including cards.
Including cards, but cards have to be counted separately, just for.
Dude, you're making paperwork.
No, just for
Yeah.
Scott. Just for Scott.
I can't do this.
Fine. All the Kickstarters combined.
It's over 40
Oh shit!
easily.
Probably same. Now, if I
Yeah.
take stuff out like books that I backed that aren't games, do you want that as well, or do you want me to leave those books out?
No one wants that nerd.
But one of them was like the biggest Kickstarter of all time.
Are you talking about Mothership?
No, Brandon Sanderson.
Oh,
Mm.
I remember that.
His Kickstarter blew up Kickstarter. I mean,
It
he
really
had
did.
like double-digit millions of dollars back before it was even halfway done.
And then Brendan Sanderson blew up.
Well, I gotta say, I feel a lot less bad about my totals now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
My wife
I'm
doesn't listen
only
to this show, so I'm safe.
I'm only at 8 for the year.
What?
8,
Yeah,
9,
What?
yeah,
10. So I'm including cards. 10, 11, 12,
Yeah. You're at
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 gaming related.
Wow, that's more than 2 a month.
Yeah.
what? Is
It's
that
because
bad?
they usually come in like threes
Oh yeah,
one time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Oh, I did it. That's the thing, right?
yeah. I'm dreading January because I know January tends to be a very big month for it, and I skipped out on it last year. My first one was in March for this year,
Oh shit.
which oh yeah, it's this one. Still haven't gotten that one yet though.
Now, I
Okay,
will say that is not as many as I wanted to back. I actually did a pretty good job of restraining myself in some situations.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
right. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm just not gonna do this right now.
You know what I'm actually kind of pissed off about, and Finder, I think you backed this one as well. Space Kraken. I still haven't gotten a damn thing. They haven't even released like, oh, here's like a PDF so you could take a look at our progress. It's like fucking
Probably
nothing.
probably because it sounds fucking lame. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what?
just kidding.
No. I kind of I
I'm just kidding.
it's like it's a science fiction dungeon crawler.
Yeah, no,
Um
I'm breaking balls. There's a couple. There's the shit that's always late though. Like there's one that people have been waiting for, and it's like, like, dude, this shit kickstarted like a decade ago.
oh, fuck.
Like that's a real story though. There is actually a Kickstarter that the weird West. No, Tales of the Far West. It's was kickstarted like before YouTube got started.
That's nuts.
100%. And there's nothing you can do.
Nope. Because technically, if it fails, it fails, right?
Right, exactly. I just got denied to play in a Dungeon World game. Damn it.
You've been searching that up.
Shut the fuck up. No one else wants to play fucking Dungeon World. It's so good though.
It's all right.
Oh my god, it's so much more fun than fucking D&D.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know, but
god.
that's setting the bar pretty damn low, dude.
Yeah.
It's more
I
fun
It's
than
more
mean,
fun than
D&D.
D&D. Yeah,
I
really.
know.
You know,
I know. Sorry.
there's a lot of things I'd rather spend my time on instead of
That's
D&D,
like,
like rewatching reruns or
Yeah, it's
staring
just
at a
the
wall.
game is full because what a shocker Dungeon World filled up. Like
so
what?
what are you trying to get into? Is this a con or?
No, it's just a little Dungeon World game this guy was gonna run. He's gonna do Lost Mines of Fandelver in Dungeon World, which I was just like, holy fuck, please sign me up. I will be a fighter, and my fucking heirloom weapon will be a spear, and I already know I'm gonna arrange it. Like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Anyway,
Nice.
Kickstarters, yeah, space krakens. I mean, well, I don't know. We have really weird opinions from people. Like, I still don't think Morkborg or Cyborg are good games, but what it is, they're going to outsell everything I will ever produce. Okay. Because of the stupid fucking art. It was like, okay, the art doesn't make you play a game well.
No, it doesn't. It's a really pretty book. I'm still glad I own the actual physical copy of it,
I
but
just sold all of mine.
I just can't imagine playing it. I can.
No, especially for a campaign. I mean, what's a good one shotter, but
Oh
like,
yeah,
like,
pretty much.
like Mothership, they're going to outsell me, and I disagree with everyone. I still think it's a fucking terrible game mechanically.
I'm very curious to see because apparently they've made a lot of updates to the system.
Did they get rid of a percentile system? Because that really is just annoying as fuck.
I don't mind percentile
There's so many
systems.
better ways they could have done that. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. I'm just not a huge fan of the percentiles when I used to play Rollmasters that could be coloring my affinity for percentile systems. After you guys saw when I described how Rollmaster works.
Yeah, and then we're like, well, I still think if you could automate like 90% of that on Foundry,
Yeah. So
it would be a lot of fun.
I have everything to do that. I just don't know how to make it happen because I tried it with my laptop and well, I know it happened with my laptop, so I am the dumb shit. But I could try it with a desktop and get it implemented, and then see how it works. But this kid's been working on it for like a year and a half, and it looks phenomenal. And it automates everything, which is
Oh, nice.
but you still can't automate some things for Rollmaster. Like I said, when you have to develop skills. You have to develop skill ranks for every weapon. So you can't just say I fight with swords. You have to fight with a fucking longsword. You fight with it's one-handed edged in Rollmaster standard system. So to be fair, you can do it. Old Rollmaster was short blades, long blades, but say you're doing one-handed edged. You develop your skill ranks, and then you've got your attributes. You've got 11 or 13 attributes. Shit, you not. And they combine. So like, and to get your attack bonus, this has become a Rollmaster show. To get your attack bonus, it is your strength plus agility bonuses on top of your skill ranks, and each skill rank is worth 5%. And then you total that up, and then you total any other things you may have up, and then if you have a 70% offensive bonus and your defensive bonus with just armor, your armor doesn't give you the bonus. Your armor determines how easily you can be wounded and harmed. And so you got that. Then you have a shield, and that's worth a 20 defensive bonus. And then you may have your character class may give you a 10% defensive bonus. So it's a 30% DB. And that's what's subtracted from when the enemy attacks you. But you know you're going to have to parry a little bit. So you're going to reserve some of your 70%, say maybe 20% of that into your defensive bonus. And so that puts that up to 50 dB because you're parrying. And then the rest of your offensive bonus, which is now lower by 20%, which is 50%. Now you're whatever it is. I'm fucking lost the math now. Then you're attacking with that on that chart. And then you have to know what they're wearing and what their armor type is. And so then the armor type, you find the armor type, and then you take your roll and you rate your roll down. It's an open-ended roll. And so it's like, okay, well, here's what I've done. And now the enemy is stunned, staggered, bleeding. Stun can't act, stun must parry. That's one of the results. Bleeding, I also may or may not have rolled a critical. So now I got to go to the other table and roll on the critical table. And it's just, that's how one attack works. So
essentially, it takes like an entire evening of gaming to do half of a combat.
Yeah, combats can be it's kind of like Savage Worlds, but yes, because if you're not good with math or you're not, but I will say Rollmaster players pay a fuck attention. There is no jerking off on your telephone while you're playing Rollmaster. That's not a fucking option because you really have to know what the fuck you're doing. And then if you want to cast the first level fire law spell, which is literally light campfire, you have to prepare for 2 rounds as the mage, and you can't do really anything else. Or you can quick cast it, but that's like a negative 25% to your spell casting roll. And then all you're gonna do is start a fire. You're not even gonna cast a fire bolt or anything. I don't know why.
And do people actually play wizards?
Bro, yes, all the time because you learn your spell lists in blocks. So like if you take I don't know, like say 1 or 2 ranks in fire law, you're learning every spell in fire law up to say 5th level. And you can cast those spells above your level with severe penalties. And but you have to prepare, and if you're not preparing, then those penalties are building, right? Kind of like you do with no PowerPoints.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that's Rollmaster in a nutshell. But when you're powerful, you are, because the spell lists there's a whole player's handbook size book of spell law, and it's for all the character classes who use magic.
Sorry, I zoned out there for a little bit.
Shut the fuck up. You're the one who just has to fucking have a percentile system. So I'm giving you the I almost said grand wizard. That was unfortunate. The granddaddy of spell system.
And I promise I tried to listen, but it just I at some point I missed like one thing that you said, and I was like, I'm totally lost already.
Right. And now trying to teach people this. It's like Jesus
Oh
wept.
God,
Yeah.
sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But probably it for the people who like it, I could see it's probably just that very heavy simulation that people enjoy.
Yes, and that's what it is like that's when other Scott asked me the three things or what I would take away from it is that no one gives a fuck about your hit points but you. So you don't roll hit points every level, which I enjoy. If you want more hit points, where every game I've written, you might have noticed a theme. It's up to you to spend an advancement to gain more health. Right, because I don't believe in just gaining health magic. I hate that shit. And then your skills really matter, and then whatever the other shit, vision and range and encumbrance. No, I'm just kidding. I forgot what they were. But it really is. And if you roll a 66, then that's like a critical in Rollmaster. And special things happen. And then like I'll give him this, like the size of creatures matters because an ogre won't attack on the same attack chart that you do. If it has a club, it's going to use the large creature or the huge creature attack table. And it's just fucking devastating when it touches you. It's not this petty bullshit of like D&D where it's like the ogre does 48 points of damage with his club. Nah, bitch, this ogre just hits you for 75 points of damage. You're stunned, no parry for 2 rounds. You have a broken fucking right femur that's causing you to bleed out at 2 hits per round. So, what are you gonna do? And when I say stunned, I don't mean like Savage Worlds, I spend a penny. It means like I am fucked unless I have a spellcaster in the party who can unstun me. And if I says no parry, then you also can't fucking defend yourself. It's raw defensive bonus and armor.
Jesus Christ.
It's brutal. But on the converse, I saw a first level ranger send a fucking arrow through an ogre's head with one shot and rolled a 197 on the attack, and with the critical just killed it in one shot. So anyway, now that we descended into the Rollmaster channel.
Well, one other thing I kind of want to bring up because we are getting close to 1 hour.
We are getting close to me needing to eat too.
Yeah.
Me
and
as well.
I just wanted to. There's 2 last things I have on the agenda. One of them is community spotlight. I just wanted to bring a little bit of attention. We have a Discord, which link will be in it, but also I want to talk about some of the people in it because we've met some really awesome people, and had some really fun conversations in the process. First one, and this goes to other Scott. You know who you are because you're the other Scott. He was actually one of our very first listeners, eh?
Yeah.
He was in from the very beginning, and he is absolutely hilarious. And at the same time, he's willing to argue with Scott, so that's
100%.
always a win.
100%. And then he lets me bait him in for an hour, and then they prove that he's wrong. I dub him the Frost Queen of Discord.
And other Scott, I want to put out, you're welcome on the show if you want to join us for an episode. Yeah. We have to talk about encumbrance because that seems to be a crazily hot topic issue.
It is. It's because gamers have never actually put on a fucking pack and tried to do anything.
I also wanted to say thanks for Dot.
Yeah.
She does the writing prompts of the day Monday through Friday. I was also on one of the podcasts that she's on, and she actually hosted that one. It was Gage and Friends. And yeah, thank you very much. You've been absolutely phenomenal. And then the last one is Matt, because, well, Matt, you created our new damn logo. So
that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Dot's like the high thearch of creativity.
The what?
The high thearch of creativity. That's her thing. She spurs everyone to do her little writing prompts, and it's like it fills up notifications, which is good because it's like everyone's getting real creative with it. It's you see how many different versions of it, one picture and there's 100 different ideas.
Yeah, and sometimes some of the stories are like, God damn, and then other ones you could see with the picture, and most people are just like, I have no idea what to write with that one.
We'll call what we call him Matt. Well, we can call him Matt for a little while. We can call him. He does the logos and stuff, and he's in the tech and whatnot. We can call him like the master of tokens. Perfect.
Token master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hate to do this, but I do need to run.
No, that's fine. The last one was, would you be able to just 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
All I'm asking is, would you be able to do your spiel for our giveaway?
Oh my god,
on the system.
It's the Chronos Builder. I almost forgot the name of it. Chronos Builder. So this is a AI driven dungeon creation program. It's on Steam, but it's not limited to just medieval fantasy. It can do Victorian. It can do a little bit of modern if you kind of work the Victorian right. It does cyberpunk. And then it does a little bit of extra science fiction. You can build things yourself, and you can go and drag and drop, and then the thing will do it. Or you can have the machine go in and say, here's the wall patterns and the walls, the tiles, the decorations, and what kind of building it is. Like, this is a tavern, and this is a cyberpunk bar. Okay, cool. Now it knows, and then you just drag the area that you want, and it'll go and build that based on your needs. And there's a whole list of room types. And then the Chronos button, if you have a Victorian bar or you've made like a medieval pub, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. I need a real quick fucking bar for my cyberpunk game. You just go in and you highlight the bar, and then you hit the Chronos button and you tell it, I want cyberpunk, and it will automatically change all the assets over to the new genre.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Very cool. It is new. It's only about 6 months old or 8 months old, so they're still working on it. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
In order to enter the giveaway, or if you want to even first check out where you can find it, just search it up on Steam. It is definitely on there. And how you enter is you can either send me an email at rpsmartpeople@gmail.com, or there's going to be a new tab in Discord for everyone who wants to join that one, where all you got to do is you got to post a picture of the worst map you've ever played on in tabletop. That's all you got to do, and then we'll give a giveaway at the end of January. So hope you guys tune in for that, and yeah. All right, and I'm gonna edit that so it turns into a little bit of a better conversation, like, a little bit more.
They don't ask.
Yeah, I know you don't ask. But anyways, folks, thank you. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be around next year, hopefully, again, too. So see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Alhamdulillah.
Later.